She was the secret weapon in Donald Trump's highly successful election campaign. As RNC co-chair, Lara Trump was a force to be reckoned with. Since stepping down, she hasn't stopped, instead launching a new show on Fox. Yes, we sometimes let those legacy media dinosaurs on here as well. Touted by some as a future US president, myself included, she's only just getting started, and it gives me great joy to introduce her now. Lara, it's so lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you, Erin. Always great to be with you.
I've got to start with the new show. It is absolutely superb and it's so different. Was that key for you to go on there and do something that was different?
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what I wanted to do. It's funny because, whenever I finally sat down with everyone at Fox, and I kind of expected them to say, okay, here's what we kind of envision for you. Honestly, everyone at Fox was like, well, just kind of do what you want. What do you want to do? And I honestly didn't expect anyone to say that. So in my mind, I said, you know what? The news cycle is nuts. It's 24/7. We can thank my father-in-law probably for a lot of that. And it's so busy and we're just inundated with so much all the time that I said, where I think I can come in and I can be maybe a little bit of a different perspective is I know these people. I know so many of the people who Donald Trump has in his administration. I know so many of the people who've started these great movements like the MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again. And I want to go deeper into all of that and kind of get to know who these people are and how these movements started, et cetera. And so it is a little bit different than anything else that you see on Fox and maybe any other, cable outlet out there, which is why I've been so proud that so many people have tuned in and they seem to be really liking it. It's been so fun to do and so different, too, from what I spent most of the last year doing, as you just noted, being RNC co-chair. So we're having a fun time.
Are you the first person on Fox to get into an ice bath? I mean, I haven't seen Sean Hannity do that.
Sean Hannity deserves to go in an ice bath sometimes. We would like to see that. I'm going to encourage him to do it. And it's so good for you, Erin. That's probably true. You're talking about the MAHA episode. I got in an ice bath, which is something I do a lot, of cold plunge. It's so good for you. And we talked to a guy named Gary Brecka who talked about the fact that he says if you were alive 5 years from now, because of making America healthy, and of course we want to spread that around the world, and things like AI, the advancements in technology, if you're alive 5 years from now, you could live to be 120 or 140. He really believes that. So it's fascinating seeing all of the different perspectives of things and hearing great information like that, because I got to be honest, I'm looking to live past 100.
Good luck. Good luck. Hey,
Yeah.
I'd love to ask you, you spent so much of the past year campaigning for your father-in-law. You were co-chair of the RNC. You travelled the country. You essentially had to promise what he was going to do and what he was promising to do. You put your reputation on the line to vouch for him. He is now delivering tenfold. How does that feel when you look at that? Was there any doubt in your mind that he would not get in there and do every single thing that he promised?
Oh, there was no doubt. But I'll be honest, he's even exceeded my expectations. The speed with which this administration has operated is the reason that you look at the Democrats in America and they don't even know what hit them. They don't even know what to do. Donald Trump and the Trump administration are on full offense all the time. They are getting things done, and they really aren't even playing with, the Democrats who used to, kind of take up some of the time and put headwinds against them. That isn't happening this time at all. It's amazing to see. And I think it's actually, whenever you kind of look big picture at the last 4 years here in America, and you realize how bad things had gotten with Joe Biden. The fact that we just found out that, Erin, he was using an auto pen, or someone was, to sign all of the documents. Joe Biden wasn't signing those himself. That's terrifying to a lot of Americans to find out. So to now have someone in the White House who's delivering on the promises that he made at warp speed, but is also a very competent individual, that gives a lot of Americans great optimism about the future. So thank God Donald Trump is in the White House for a whole host of reasons, but he's even exceeded my expectations. And I'm honestly, I'm so happy for him. That's the one thing. He's enjoying himself now. And the first term, he learned a lot. He got in there for the first time as a politician when he decided to run for president in 2016. And he had a lot to learn in 2017 whenever he first took the oath of office and became the president here. He learned all of it, and in the past 4 years, he studied up a little more, planned out how he was going to execute things, and he's doing it now, but he's enjoying it. And for me, as a part of the family, as someone who's seen him go through the lowest lows, to see him right now, I'll tell you, it's been absolutely incredible.
You do see a side of him that 99.99% of the world don't, and that is him as a grandpa. I know he adores your kids and all his grandkids. Is he as relaxed, do you think, of a grandpa as he was last time? Is he more relaxed? Are things more intense? Like, how is he balancing that? Because I can't imagine how he has time for anything else other than running the country. But I also know through you directly that he's an incredible family man, and it matters to him more than anything.
I mean, it's the number one reason I believe he decided to run for president. He wanted this country to be set up properly so that his grandchildren could get to grow up in the same country he got to grow up in, and that every American child has the opportunities that, you know, we've always had here in this country. He is so, I feel like he's, like I said, enjoying it so much more now. And I think that that's translated into him enjoying his grandkids even more. You know, we took both of our kids to a car race here, the Daytona 500, and our daughter ended up walking out with him whenever he went to kind of do the official hello before the race started. And he had so much fun with both of our kids that day. I actually think he probably enjoyed that part of it more than he did watching the cars race around. Because, you know, the time when you're president is very limited, and he wants to enjoy all of that time he possibly can with the family. But I think overall he's really thriving. He's really hit his stride, and I'm so proud of him. And again, I'm just so happy for him. And I'm also happy for my kids because, you know, had he had 8 consecutive years in the White House, they would never have been able to make these memories with him. They were too young, honestly. So the fact that they now understand a little bit of what's going on, not too much, they still just think he's grandpa, but they know he's an important person. That's really cool as well. They're going to have these memories that they can carry forever with them. So that it's great. It's all great.
I'm slightly triggered by the Daytona video because I put it on my YouTube and I did a little intro that took me 8 seconds walking home from school. It's my highest rating video, and I spend hours on the other one scripting the most powerful, moving, emotive monologues. And it's like tenfold the views of cute Carolina with the president, you know?
Well, we'll take it, Erin. That's so funny.
Every day of the week. Hey, you mentioned the Democrats earlier. If you had told me 2 years ago, and I'm covering this in my take at the end of the show, they have resorted to the lowest of lows. I mean, not standing for a child with brain cancer, suddenly determining that a terrorist supporter is going to be their poster child. I mean, I could go on and on. Is this so much desperation, or have they completely lost their way?
Oh, they have no idea what to do. There's a rock bottom, and I feel like the Democrats are there right now. And it's kind of amazing to see. They have no leader. They have no message. This weekend, I think they're all gathered together to kind of try to figure out their direction and what their talking points are going to be and how they woo the American people back on their side. Turns out the American people like common sense. Turns out the American people like when someone actually delivers on what they said they were going to do. It makes their life easier, not harder. So, you know, you look at them there at the speech you're just talking about, the joint address to Congress. I mean, it is absolutely insulting to every American that those people are representatives of so many around our entire country. It was absolute insanity to see them every time somebody they would all sit down for, you know, DJ Daniel, as you said, the kid with 13-year-old with brain cancer who was made an honorary Secret Service agent. They sat, and I would look at Eric and I would say, I can't believe these people are still sitting down. Whenever you have the parents and the family of, kids who were murdered by illegal immigrants sitting down. Corey Comparator, who was killed at the Butler rally, who sat just behind my father-in-law. No one's standing for anything. A kid who finds out he's going to West Point for college, that's his dream, sitting. It is despicable, but I think they're showing us exactly who they've always been. And the TikTok videos and Jasmine Crockett and Al Green and the fighter videos, it is so cringe. It is so bad. And I'm just going to say, as former RNC co-chair, good luck to the Democrats, because, man, they need a lot of it.
I mean, you say rock bottom, but I feel like they could still go lower. I reckon
Maybe
only they could pull that off. Finally, Lara, I want to ask you about Elon Musk. We're on X here. This is his platform. They are trying to essentially destroy the bloke because he's trying to save the American taxpayer a fair chunk of change. I mean, they're crazy.
Yeah, it's horrible. You know, the crazy part is, if you looked at the speech, you know, the panels that some of these people were holding up, which, you know, the silent protest, okay. The panels they were holding up was, you know, that Elon's enriching himself. He's making his friends rich. Elon Musk has given up so much, as has Donald Trump, to do the jobs that they are doing right now for the American people. This is a man who didn't need to do any of this, but we are so lucky to have him in there. The truth is, America could not continue in perpetuity with the kind of wasteful spending, the fraud and the abuse that actually bloated our federal government to this behemoth that it became. And the American taxpayers had no idea that this was happening. We all assumed it was happening, but this much money, it's $115 billion that they've already saved our country. This was necessary to do. You can't continue the way we were. And it's amazing to see how these people who go out of their way to attack Elon for what? Transparency and accountability. It's because these people cannot stand, when the light hits them, they're going to melt. These are all the people, the swamp creatures that Donald Trump has been talking about for a long time. So I'm so grateful for Elon Musk. It is terrible what they're doing, but a lot of people in America have actually been going out of their way to buy Teslas and buy from him to try and show support. So I hope we see more of that.
Final word, I know that there was a lot of talk about a potential position for you in public service in terms of following the footsteps of your father-in-law. Is that something, I know that for now it wasn't the right move, and we've chatted ourselves about this off camera, but what about moving forward? What kind of fire burns within you to do something yourself one day?
Yeah, you know, it's so funny because none of us in our family, Erin, would have ever truly considered anything in politics, I think, before my father-in-law ran for president in 2016. And we've certainly seen the lows, but we've also seen the highs. Honestly, there's a beautiful side to politics as well as the awful side to politics. And the beautiful stuff is that you get to help people in this country and make people's lives better and inspire and all of those things. And so you're right. I've seriously considered twice you know, running for Senate at one point, and then, you know, trying to fill the seat for Marco Rubio here in Florida. It was the wrong time for me because I have a young family, but I would never say never. You know, I honestly follow where God places me. I try to listen and hear what he tells me, and it's led me into some pretty incredible places so far. So if that's something that he has in my future, I'm totally open to it. But for right now, I'm going to have fun on My View on Fox for a little while, and that's good enough for me.
Give the time slot a plug. Not that you need it. I saw the ratings. Oh, my Lord.
9 p.m. on Fox News every Saturday night. So we'll see you there. And we've got a great show. This weekend, we're doing a crypto show because I think so many people are so confused about what crypto is. You hear about it, but what is it? So we really went to the experts and we answered a lot of questions. So
I love that. The kind of not dumb person's guide, but can you simplify it and explain it? That is brilliant. Love it. Yes. Lara Trump, thank you so very much, and can't wait to watch you on Saturday night.
Oh, thank you, Erin.